Welcome back to the YouTube channel, live and direct from day 3 of peak week. An absolute fantastic day that I've been waiting for so bloody long. 375 grams of carbs going down the hatch today. I hope you've enjoyed the first 2 vlogs of peak week. Pretty chill, no major changes, low calories still, high steps, training to, still a proximity to failure. But today we've got our first couple of changes. So 375 grams of carbs going in the hatch, an extra half a litre of water, so 3.5 litres of water, 12k steps, and a hell of a lot of food to get down the hatch. And I'm thoroughly excited to take you through a full day of eating, a pool day, a bit of posing, and just some freaking top quality rants and bants. So if you enjoyed the series so far, make sure you hit that subscribe button to follow along my full peak week and what I'm gonna look like on stage day on Sunday, which I'm buzzing to show you all what you can do if you put your mind to it. Dedicate yourself to the process and bringing out your best physique to date. So press your shoulders down like we did on the other lat pull down. That's it. And then when you come up to the top ladder, shoulders stretch up as well, so don't keep them depressed. That's it. And then go press them down. There we go. Here we are then, look at that. Oh, that is absolutely wonderful. Peanut butter and chicken bagels. One of my favorite meals at the moment, honestly. Like, I've had it most of prep when I've had refeeds and it tastes next level. And I've also added in some pink Himalayan salt to this. So we have 38 grams of peanut butter, 1 bagel, 30 grams of spinach because I quite like it with chicken. We also have 60 grams of we also have 60 grams of chicken, which is its cooked weight. So that's about 90 grams raw, and I was supposed to have 150. So I've added in some 2 slices of wafer thin chicken to just top the protein up a little bit more. Calories and macros are on the screen. I'm gonna give you an insane taste test of this because 38 grams of peanut butter on a bagel is next level. My God. Toasted to perfection. A little bit charred on the top. Now I could have gone for 2 bagels today. I had 90 grams at the start of the day, but I really wanted to make sure that I had a lot of it around my workout. So I'm sticking with my idea. I always have fats in the morning. So there is like 23 grams of fat, 23 grams of fat in this meal. So because I'm not going to go to the gym until a bit later, this energy now is going to last a while before it starts to break down. And then I need my next then carb meal, which would be my pre-workout. So I keep my fats higher, carbs a bit lower, protein moderate in the mornings, just to help with more sustained energy. Now, when it comes to your peak weeks, especially the very, very high carb days, make sure you plan your food out as far in advance as possible. I have literally, on my MyFitnessPal, planned all of my food out up until Saturday, near enough. Bearing in mind, there might be some changes when I'm in Luton for my competition, what I can get available at supermarkets. But without that plan, you will not know whether you've hit your carb amount, whether you've hit your salt amount, stuff like that. You need to make sure you're as planned in as possible with your refeeds and making sure that you know every meal is tracked to the gram, because in a peak week, it's integral. It's like the crunch time. To bring your best physique, everything needs to be measured, everything needs to be managed so that you can bring your best physique to stage. I know exactly how much is in my next meal. I've made it ahead of time. I've tracked it into my MyFitnessPal and I know exactly what I'm going to be consuming. My post-workout, exactly the same, tracked and it's made ready ahead of time. And my evening meal this evening, exactly the same. So make sure you plan out all of your food in as far in advance as possible, as in peak week you'll have multiple high days. This is my first one of 4 high days. I've got 1 today, 2 tomorrow, and I've also got a holding day on Saturday where we're going to be running slightly higher carbs, but not as high as today, for example. So I need to make sure that everything is meticulously planned so I know exactly what I'm going to be consuming. This is going to go down like an absolute treat. I'm then going to get cracking some editing before I then take you through meal 2 of the day, which is also another exciting meal I'm going to have. I've got to say, chicken is also seasoned with some chicken seasoning, as I batch made this a couple of days ago, so I had to use it up. Normally I'd probably just have like the chicken slices and stuff like that. Mike smashed a session again, and also Ryan. Both are killing it at the moment with their fat loss. They literally have about 13 weeks left, but both of them each, before we then start to look at reversing their calories out. So when you come to reversing your calories, you can do it like one of 2 ways. You've got a health phase where you slowly, incrementally add those calories, mainly through fats, a bit of protein to help with stabilizing your hormone levels. Or you can go for a reverse diet, where you add a bit more of a calorie to get your weight moving, add a bit more body fat on. So normally we would add like 125 to 200 calories to start off with. If weight doesn't start moving, then you add another 200, then add another 200. And before you know it, like 4 weeks later, you're already about 1,000 calories up, and your body is responding really, really well. When you get really lean and you reverse out of your diet, you'll find that your physique probably actually looks better because it's starting to fill out with all the carbs and things like that. So bear that in mind if you're in the depths of a diet in the moment and you're going to reverse your calories out. Bear that in mind that you probably actually are going to look better. But take it slow and steady. You don't want to just chuck on like 2,000 calories and wreck your digestion. No more than 250 to 500 max if you are going to make that initial first jump up in calories, and then downgrade those amounts as weight starts to move. Your weight increment should be around 0.2 to 0.5 per week, and then hold it there. And then only increase your calories again until you see that next plateau in weight or the rate of loss changes. It is time for the best part of the day. The most amount of carbohydrates of my full day of eating, pre and post workout. Obviously not together, because if I had that, I'd be fucking sleeping like a log after a food coma. But we have got something a little bit differently today. Normally my previous vlogs have had cream of rice, or creme de oats as I like to call it. Today we've gone for the bog standard chicken and rice, but we've seasoned the rice. We've got 250 grams of cooked weight long grain rice with parsley, chili and a little bit of garlic, so I had a small amount left. We had a bit of fibre, 100 grams of veg, and we've got 150 grams of raw weight chicken, seasoned with, again, some more spices and herbs, and also 12 grams of honey to get a little bit more fast-acting carbs. Plus, one of the best flavours of Squares bars, marshmallow. I used to hate this flavour, but the more I've had it, the better I like it. But it's not the best. The best is the salted caramel, then the chocolate orange flavour, and then this classic bad boy. So getting a good combination of fast-acting carbs and slow-acting carbs to fuel me for my upper body pull day. There's very minimal fat in this because I'm literally going to eat this on the way to the gym, wait a couple of minutes. So it's going to be a good 60 minutes before I train. Wait for that to sit and digest, hit the gym, and that should be good to go. If I was not training for 2 to 3 hours, I would probably have a little bit more fats in this meal. So I might have a bit of olive oil, for example, or a bit of nut butter to kind of slow down the digestion of those carbohydrates. But because there's no fats, it means I can pretty much eat this, walk to the gym, start the process of digestion, get warmed up, ready to go, and then hit that gym hard. So I'm gonna tuck into this. I'm thoroughly looking forward to having this meal because I've never really had anything like this pre-training before. I've always gone for the sweet stuff, cream of rice and things like that. So I wanna see how I find something a little bit more wholemeal based going into the gym and then having something more sweet based afterwards, just to see how it works. I tried this afterwards yesterday and I quite liked it. So I'm gonna try it the reverse way this time and play around with it. Now when it comes to your carbs on refeed days, especially huge ones, you need the most amount of time to consume them, because if you're consuming your carbs too close together, it's gonna wreak havoc with your digestion. You're probably gonna shit yourself. You're probably gonna have a food coma afterwards and fall asleep. So you wanna leave enough gap between them so that you can get all of them in a day and not feel like you're wrecking your digestion and ruining the day's worth of enjoyment of food, but also not really getting the most out of it. Because if I'm having this, then I'm training let's say I had my bagel and I had this like straight after, then I had this, I'm likely not going to partition that food correctly. It's not going to necessarily store in my body enough because it's such a large bolus of food. I'd have to be walking for hours and hours and hours to kind of speed up that process of digestion. So spread your meals out across the day every 3 to 4 hours. Keep it the same as you would if you were dieting, or if you're on the lower calories, you would spread your meals out, maybe fast a little bit. Today, obviously, I had my first meal at 8. Then I've been editing and working. So this is 1:30 now. I'm gonna have all this, and then I'm gonna have my favorite kind of Monster as well. One of my favorite cans of Monster, the Blue Original Monster. As you know on the vlogs, we love that flavor. We love the original green sugar-free, and we love the white Monster too. I very nearly didn't have a bowl big enough for this absolute stinker of a post-workout meal. We have 130 grams of cream of rice, 30 grams of whey, 50 grams of raspberries, 50 grams of blueberries, some pink Himalayan salt, 10 grams of dark chocolate, and a shit ton of cinnamon. I think I've got 2 layers of cinnamon on here, one on top of the dark chocolate and cream of rice, and one on top of the fruits, and I let it melt overnight. Absolutely bliss. I'm so buzzed to get through this. That's posing also finished. Safe to say, the rice and chicken worked an absolute wonder. I didn't feel like I had a crash at all. So that is something I'm going to be carrying over into my off season. I'm already starting to plan it out. And I'm going to set myself a challenge in my off season to have more whole foods, so less cereals. So I'm spending an absolute fortune on Cocoa Pops and Rice Krispies, that sort of stuff. So I'm going to set myself a challenge to have less of that. More rice, more whole foods, that sort of stuff. Cream of rice I will probably keep in, mainly because it's an easy digestible carb and it is just rice. So that's absolutely fine. But it means sad times I'm going to have to sacrifice my malt loaf, potentially. We'll see. Malt loaf I prefer over cereal any day of the week. But so I'm going to give you a very, very quick taste test of this. This is the right consistency of what you need for cream of rice, like a cake. This is the Applied Nutrition Toffee Crisp flavour, and this is what you want, like dense cake, especially in a refeed day or a high day. You don't want volume. So if I made it more like spongy, I'd probably find it very hard to get this down. But because I did make it with a lot of water and I left it in the microwave for a far longer time, it dried out and it's perfect. So I like my cream of rice like a cake. And then I like to make the paste a little bit more, if I only have about 30 grams, I like to have it a little more runny on top so it covers the whole thing. With obviously 10 grams of dark chocolate in there, it's absolutely bliss. So I'm probably going to be in a bit of a coma after this, but I have a client straight after, so it's going to help with digestion. Posing went really, really well after the session. Very, very quick round because the gym was ram-packed on the cable machines as always in Pure Gym. So I ended up doing 1 round of my mandatories, which I'm finding very, very comfortable at the moment. I'm still struggling on my right-hand side, so turning my left to my right. That's just going to take practice. I am going to add in some oblique rotations on my off-season to help with mobility on that weaker side, to see if I can free up some more movement so that it looks more even. And then I also did a posing routine for my posing coach, which I'm not going to show you because it's a secret, but I think I probably have shown you on the vlog at some point. Anyway, like past vlogs. But I'm feeling way more comfortable with my posing routine now than I ever have done. And we've changed it twice so far. And it's favoriting, like, obviously my strongest poses, which is great. So I'm absolutely buzzing to put this together with music on stage. My worry is that I'm gonna get out of sync. I'm gonna like trip up, or I don't know, poo myself or something like that on stage and really embarrass myself. But I'm just gonna enjoy it, enjoy myself, my first ever competition. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the end result of that. And that commends the end of the day with meal 4. Frozen yogurt again, the same as yesterday, but this time we've added in some granola. So we've got 300 grams of Greek yogurt, 30 grams of whey, 10 grams dark chocolate, 50 grams of blueberries, 50 grams of prunes, which are next level in yogurt, and a ton of cinnamon and a bit of pink Himalayan salt to tie off this first refeed of my peak week. If you enjoyed today's vlog, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, because we have another big day tomorrow. 450 grams of carbs going down the hatch, and that is going to be absolutely bliss.